What's going on, everybody? John out here with you. It is Saturday, October 29, 2022. So, just figuring out we're trying to cover the World Series here in the Battle of Alberta there with the Flames and the Edmonton Oilers with Cooper Hopkins. But until then, let me give you some business to take care of. So, let's start with this the NFL Week 8 picks against the spread. So, I laughed at myself the week before when I finished 4-9, and it was dreadful. And then last week I finished 9-4 and flip the inverse around. So hopefully you can kind of keep that the same way. So let's get started here. So it's going to start with an ESPN Plus game in the morning, or just regular ESPN in Jacksonville, Denver, as they travel to London for these two teams. Denver getting 3.5. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I didn't have to pick this game, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Russell Wilson has been an atrocity for the Denver Broncos. That whole team has struggled. And ever since you've had the quarterback whisperer of Peyton Manning, John Elway, and all those other things like that, it's not gone so well. And Elway hasn't done a great job of picking quarterbacks. And it certainly seems like the Russell Wilson thing's not working out too well. That being said, they'll probably cover the 3.5, and I'll lose the game. But I'm going to take Jacksonville until otherwise noted because I just don't trust Denver enough, even if it's played on the moon, let alone London. So Dallas and Chicago. Chicago going to Jerry's World, getting 10.5. Now this point spread is kind of little bit crazy because if I take one of these teams, it's going to be just enough for a team to lose or just enough for them to win. I think Vegas got that one exactly right, giving Chicago 10.5 on the Monday line. It's since moved to 11. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I know that Justin Fields looked really good last week against the Patriots, and they were atrocious. I want to go back to Bailey Zappi, question mark. But for Dallas, I think their defense will travel. It's going to give Justin Fields some problems, and Dallas might be able to do enough to sneak under those 10.5 points, maybe win the game by 11 or 12. Give me the Cowboys, but Chicago's going to keep it close. Vegas and New Orleans. So here's the thing. Vegas is starting to find their offense. New Orleans is struggling this year, and they're going to continue to struggle. Vegas on the road as they travel to New Orleans, getting 2.5. Give me Vegas. They've looked decent of late. I don't think 2.5 is too much to ask, and considering when it's Andy Dalton versus Derek Carr, I'll take Derek Carr and take my chances, especially if Josh Jacobs continues to do the damage that he's doing. Atlanta at home. They have to cover 4.5 against the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers decimated the Buccaneers last week, and Atlanta lost their first game in any spread mode entirely. I think that's going to change, and all of a sudden, because the division is so bad, this turns out to be a big game between Atlanta and Carolina. Give me Marcus Mariota. I think they cover the 4.5. Give me the Falcons. I'll take that bet. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Philadelphia still remaining as the only undefeated team left in the NFL. They're taking on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I was able to do the happy dance as they covered the 6.5 against the Miami Dolphins. It was a game that the Dolphins or Pittsburgh could have had and should have had. Either one of those teams could have taken it, but it was just sloppy toward the end of that second half. Give me Philadelphia. I think they cover the 10.5 points. I don't think the spread's too big. Give me the Eagles. Miami and Detroit. Detroit at Ford Field getting 3.5 against the Dolphins. Again, as we talked about in the previous segment, Miami wasn't all that great. Well, Detroit is one of those ones where it cures all that ails you. I think Tua and everyone else will have a big day despite having some injuries there on the Miami side. Detroit's even more banged up, and they've looked atrocious of late. They've scored, a total of 3 points in the last 2 weeks. Give me the Dolphins. Minnesota, they're going to welcome the Arizona Cardinals getting 4.5. Minnesota, I think, coming off a bye. So they're going to look all right in terms of where they're going to be. Arizona, with Kyler Murray, I think it's enough to keep things close. I'm going to take Arizona and the points. Give me the 4.5 points for the Cardinals. I think they find a way to stay in it against the Vikings. New England and the New York Jets. New York Jets getting 1.5. Now, normally I would just take the Jets and run with it. I think Breece Hall is going to be a big loss there for the Jets and Robert Saleh's squad. New England can't look much worse than they did last week. Give me New England. I hope that Bailey Zappi starts over Mac Jones in the sense that we can cover this game, but it is just 1.5. All you got to do is win by a field goal, win something. New England has to look better. Give me the Patriots. Tennessee and Houston, again, this is only at 1.5. I don't see any reason to belabor the point. Give me the Titans. All they got to do is cover 1.5 on the road. Seattle and the Giants. Kenneth Walker III. How about the Michigan State running backs? How about Geno Smith? Seattle has looked very good this year, considering when a lot of people were going to write them off, considering they lost their starting quarterback. But the Geno Smith decision there for Pete Carroll has looked pretty damn good. That being said, I think Seattle wins this game. And the Giants, they get 3.5 points. And until then, I know the Giants are beat up, but until the Giants show me otherwise in that 7-1 record, I'm not going to pick against them. Seattle might win, but I'll take the 3.5 points. I think they can cover it. Indianapolis and Washington. Again, I'm not so sure with Ellinger now. And between Matt Ryan, who's the better quarterback here for Indianapolis? I know who the better quarterback is for Washington. It's Taylor Heineke. Give me the 3.5 on the road for Washington. I think they win this game outright. Here's an interesting one yet again. The Rams and San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan seems to own anything that McVay is trying to do here for the Rams. Rams are continually beat up, and every time they play against San Francisco, it is the Kyle Shanahan quarterback whisperer situation with Garoppolo and getting everything else underway. Now they have Christian McCaffrey for a week. They have a chance to get him loaded up. Give me the 49ers. I know they're getting 2.5. I think they win outright. Buffalo and Green Bay. Buffalo coming off a bye week, and Green Bay coming off of the what the F are we doing, courtesy of Aaron Rodgers' performance to his teammates when they're running the wrong routes and they're not catching passes, and you just see him consoling himself toward the end of the game. I understand it's Aaron Rodgers, and if you asked me a couple of years ago, would I ever see Green Bay getting 10.5 against anyone right now? I'm going to try to learn my lesson with Buffalo coming off the bye week. Give me the Bills. I think they at least cover 10.5 against Green Bay, and it continues to get worse. This brings us to our Monday night contest between Cincinnati and Cleveland. Cleveland getting 3.5 in the Battle of Ohio. I think Joe Burrow has ended up finding something. Cleveland's still kind of struggling there with Jacoby Brissett, some of these other injuries. Give me the Bengals. I think they cover the 3.5 and they win the Battle of Ohio. So my picks: Jacksonville against Denver in the game in London. They got to cover 3.5. Dallas at home has to cover 10.5 against Chicago, and that spread could be very close. It could go either way there. Vegas and New Orleans. All Vegas has to do is cover 2.5 on the road. I think they'll do that. Give me the Raiders. Atlanta against Carolina. Atlanta, I think they're due for a bounce back in a game that's all of a sudden pretty big against the Falcons and the Panthers. Give me the Falcons. Philadelphia will continue their winning ways. They'll top Pittsburgh in the 10.5 and stay undefeated. Miami and Detroit, there really is nothing else to say. Give me the Dolphins. Minnesota and Arizona. I'll take Arizona to keep it close on the road within the 4.5. New England and the Jets, all the Patriots have to do is cover 1.5. They got to look better than they did last week. Look for a bounce back. Tennessee and Houston. Tennessee only needs to cover 1.5. Give me the Titans. I'll take the Giants and the points with the 3.5, although Seattle might win. I'll go with Washington to win outright on the road, getting 3.5 points over the Colts. I'll take San Francisco on the road against the Rams. Again, San Francisco has done very well against the Rams every time they play. I'll take the 49ers. Buffalo has to cover 10.5 against Green Bay. Never thought I would say that, but give me the Bills. And then to close it out again on Monday, I'll take the Bengals over the Browns in the Battle of Ohio. See you guys next week. Hope the 9-4 stand kind of continues and we have another winning week. Peace.